Welcome back, everybody. Yep, as Tom just said, we are going to be talking about the first two quarter-final games that have taken place. We're going to find out the teams are going to be playing in the semi-finals with England, but not with England, but in the semi-finals with England.
On the other side of the draw.
Oh my god, that's convoluted.
Yeah,
still a bit excited because England got through.
I'm actually more excited now than during the England video.
If you didn't know England got through.
We got through, baby! 2-0 against the Swedes! We'll see you in the semi-finals! Glory be!
So, I would like to talk first about the... Canada!
Ireland! Sorry.
Australia! I would like to start by talking about another game of the tournament candidate, which was Belgium versus Brazil.
I don't think it was as good as you thought it was, but yeah, we can do that.
For me, I wanted to see the attack and talent shine, and I thought for both sides, the attack and talent shined.
It did shine. It shined indeed.
I didn't think Belgium would win this game, and I have to say straight off the bat, fantastic achievement by Belgium.
Fair play too.
I always wondered how they would come up against a thoroughbred team and beat them.
I'm impressed any team can win with Roberto Martinez at their helm. Like, to overcome that is a serious achievement.
Do you give him any credit?
Absolutely none.
You don't give him any credit? I think that's harsh. But we'll get into why Tom doesn't give him credit. Belgium won the game 2-1. They got 2 goals in the first half, and I thought they outplayed
First half, they were brilliant.
Every time they went forward, they looked really good. The first goal was an own goal.
First goal is an own goal. Company gets a little flick on it, and it comes off Fernandinho's bicep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but also Brazil had a couple of corners, and they should have scored a goal from a corner as well. It
wide open.
It looked like both teams didn't want to defend corners in this game. Like they were leaving a lot of space.
This World Cup seems like teams are uninterested in corners.
It does seem like now that teams can't wrestle other players to the ground, they don't know how to defend.
It really does. It does shine a light on the fact that we have not been noticing something that apparently has been prevalent in football for 100 years. Of in corners, it's just a wrestling match. And how none of us have noticed that before is beyond me.
Well, they have noticed it before, but just no one does anything about it.
But it's. I mean, if I'd seen what happened to Mitrovic in a Premier League game, I'd be spitting blood. I'd be furious. And yet, in this World Cup, it's become really clear that that's happening all the time. Whereas you've never. I don't know if this the team. They just didn't show it. It was just accepted that it was done, so you didn't pay any attention to it. But in this World Cup...
It was always just one of those things, isn't it? That it was deemed as gamesmanship. That's how you defend.
We've had this conversation, I believe, on recorded camera and on our channel where we talk about marking, zonal marking, and man marking. And one of the biggest benefits of zonal marking is being able to cover the whole box. And I think man marking is where you lose your man and they score.
But we've seen Champions League games where Italian defenders are not even looking at the ball coming in. They are face off with the man, and they are blocking that man.
That's true.
So that's been going on for years, and it's just been considered as that is how they defend.
Gamesmanship.
And that is changing now, and maybe that's why we're seeing wide open spaces in the box.
Oh, it's good. Anyway, sorry, off topic.
Off topic. So Brazil always posed a threat.
Yeah.
But every time Belgium went forward, they looked like they could carve Brazil open at will. Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku were all sensational. He played Lukaku in a sort of wider role, which I think really helped.
I think it helped to a certain extent, right? So was Hazard or De Bruyne the centerpiece? I couldn't quite tell. They were kind of looping around.
They were looping around.
But basically, Lukaku was playing slightly off center, which seemed to mess with the Brazilians. But I would argue that was more the Brazilians' fault than the Belgians.
You won't give Martinez any credit.
No, not a single thing. Not an absolute single thing. I thought he tried to lose it at the end of the game, and I refused to give him anything. But Lukaku also had one of those games that he seems to have once every 5 or 6 games, and even the commentators were talking about it, where when he's on, he's like Drogba on steroids. He's a bigger, faster version of Drogba. And if he can keep the ball on his feet and know where it's going, it's totally different. But as a Man United supporter who thinks Lukaku is a great striker, the guy is terrible at dribbling. Literally awful. It takes his brain so long to get an instruction to his foot that he misses half the touches he takes.
There was one dribble in the second half where he just literally just ran the ball.
Or just kicked it out of play. And then you saw him punching himself in the head.
But Neymar did the same as well in that game, so you can't read off.
Really? You want to get into Neymar
now? No. But
they were unplayable, and the second goal, I think, was
the second goal was was a fantastic strike from De Bruyne. I mean,
it epitomised everything about Belgium in that first half, is that they were ruthless. They had an inch of space to shoot, and he went, yeah, I'm going to shoot.
But it just shows you that Brazil did sort of back off him a bit, and you just do that at your peril. He's just such a good player. These guys are so good, and it's so nice to see these players playing so well in a big game.
It's about time they did.
Always been the question.
It's about time they did.
Yeah.
Hazard, to me, though, was man of the match. The second half, particularly, when De Bruyne went AWOL, when Lukaku went AWOL, every time Hazard got the ball to his feet, he was composed, he was controlled, he was totally exhausted, and he bought like 7 fouls.
There was a couple of times where Brazil absolutely just properly rugby tackled him to the ground.
Well, because they couldn't get the ball off.
Yeah,
and he was brilliant. Every time a second player even started to run near him, he was already darting off the first player.
He's a wonderful player.
He was.
He's such a good player.
Well, it's been good to see this year as well, because up until this year, how many matches have you watched where against top opposition you've gone, Hazard's won this game? I'm arguing single digits at most.
That's what must frustrate the hell out of Chelsea fans, because sometimes when he just doesn't want to play, he just doesn't play.
No.
And when he feels like he can just turn it on and off.
That's the thing, is like he did it in the FA Cup final against Man United. He totally outplayed them by himself, won the penalty, and from that moment onwards, every time he got the ball, Man United had to foul him because he wasn't giving it up. And he did that in this match as well. He didn't win the game for them, he didn't score the goals, but they would have lost the second half without him on there, because every time they needed 10 seconds break, every time they needed to breathe, he managed to get the ball, attack the right or left wing, and then just do a little feint and get drawn down. And every time you saw it as well, he'd hit the ground, you just see him just being like, oh, thank God.
This is going to be a long video, I feel. But so Belgium leading 2-0 at half time. The second half happened. Brazil dominated his second.
Totally different second half to the first half.
Absolutely dominated it. And I actually think, I know he dived, he threw himself to the ground, but I actually think Neymar played well in the second half. Every time he got the ball, he was dribbling, he was getting past people, he was making
Neymar
space.
is a victim of himself. Yeah. The reason they did not get a penalty when Vincent Kompany rashly tackled, was it Silva or Augusto in the box?
Silva.
The reason that they didn't get a penalty was Neymar. It was that twice, 10 minutes before then, or in the 10 minutes leading up to it, the referee had just disgustedly looked at Neymar and been like, get up.
But why, if you've got people looking at that on a screen, and we've clearly seen the stills, and the commentators all agreed that it was a penalty.
Everyone says
we've seen Vincent Kompany going studs up on a guy's shin, ankle. Why is that not given as a penalty?
Well,
even though you can see it on a replay.
You and I both know that I don't agree with VAR in any way that's being instituted, but I genuinely think that when the boy that cried wolf is on your team and they've had to check VAR 30 different times, at this point they're like, you don't deserve a penalty anymore.
But how can they say you don't deserve a penalty? That's not.
I'm not saying they're saying it. I'm just saying that's the only.
But that's outrageous if they're saying. If they're thinking you don't deserve it because you died 30 seconds ago, it's a different player. It's a different part of the box.
Well, you're saying 30 seconds ago. We're talking about a player who spent 14 minutes on the ground the entire match, who's wasted VAR.
But it's not even Neymar. Neymar's not asking for that penalty.
Neymar is asking for that.
Okay, penalty. Right. He is asking, but he's not the one who's fouled.
No, he's not the one that's fouled. And I think the whole argument behind it is that it's hard to call in the minute. We all thought it was a penalty. In slow motion, it looks like a penalty. But from the angle of the referee, didn't think it was a penalty. And up to them where they think it's a clear foul or not. But I'm just, as a human being, I'm looking at this going, if Neymar hadn't spent the entire tournament on the ground, I think they'd have gotten that penalty. I can't not think any other way. If they played a really clean match and they played a clean tournament up till this point, and someone got studded like that, I could see almost that kind of, that 10% leaning left or right, I could see them leaning left and go check again.
I have a slightly different theory on it. And I think that, for me, it's been noticeable. They're not... I don't know whether someone said anything to the referees or not, but there has hardly been any VAR usage in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wonder if that has been something that they've said to the referees. It's gotten a bit farcical. Let's speed this process up and let's not, unless it's absolutely clear cut. If there's any doubt at all, you go with the on-field
decision. It's possible,
decision.
But that seemed like a really poor decision in that instance, because they did stop play and he did sit there for 2 minutes on his thing. So you've already wasted the time. Yeah. You may as well go to the...
I think it was a penalty, and I can't think of a reason why it was given other than...
I got a text from my friend Andrew in the States, and he thought that Brazil were robbed. He thought they were unlucky with the own goal at the beginning, which they were, obviously. Almost all own goals are unlucky, unless Karius is in charge. And
I wouldn't say Brazil were robbed. I wouldn't go that
No.
far because I think Belgium deserved.
They did, although
The effort they put in.
second half, this entire match comes down to Coutinho's chance. The ball is laid off by Neymar, something Neymar does not do. He lays the ball off, though. He's 10 yards out. He can shoot left or right of the goalkeeper. And what's he do? He skies it 10 yards right of the goal and 10 yards high of the goal. And you're just...
This was a wonderful game for me, just in terms of the story of the match was everything you wanted from the game.
Yeah.
It was like Belgium turned up first half. They were always going to try and just defend in that second half and counter.
Yeah.
And Brazil really turned up the heat to the level that we know they can play.
And the second half was so bad from De Bruyne's point of view. I mean, De Bruyne got... Like, he was the fulcrum, right? He's the bit that bends. He's the bit you give the ball to and he puts it onto the axis of pressure. And he could not get it to a player.
What? The axis of evil.
No, the axis of pressure. Although Belgium are the axis of evil. You've seen they all wear horns. They're the Devils. They're the Red Devils.
They are the Red Devils. Like your beloved Man United. I don't know how Brazil didn't get an equaliser.
No, they tried really hard.
They did get one back though, and I was literally texting with my brothers, and they were saying, "What do you think is going to happen 20 minutes to go?" And I said, "I can see Brazil getting one back, and then it's just going to be a mad scramble."
I think
and almost as soon as I texted it, Augusta scored the
equaliser.
Really good. It was a good goal though.
Yeah, it was
really like Courtois was in the mood where he wasn't giving anything away.
He was fantastic. And that save in the first half.
Oh, wonderful save! And this save in the first half happened pretty much after Brazil had just gone 1-0 behind. And it was almost like it was behind him and he saves his ball from corner. But he wasn't in a mood to give away anything cheap, and this goal was right in the corner from the head from Augusta. But Brazil, they couldn't get it done, and Belgium did get it done.
I think Brazil... Should we end this? Are we ending this here?
I think we need to get on to the other games. So.
I'm just going to say, I think Brazil are almost coming up to an England-esque point right now, where they're victims of their own previous success. They're victims of their own belief. And I think that...
that's a statement, that.
They're now relying on Neymar to be this world beater. But the problem with Neymar is he's a deeply flawed individual. And if they played as a team, a deeply flawed individual like Gaza, like Maradona can come through and win you a match. But you can't win the match when it's just them. Like Messi, you can't just give the ball to Messi and go win the match. There has to be a team play behind it, and I think Brazil lacked that throughout this entire World Cup, and the only time they played as a team were the final 40 minutes of this game. It was the only time we saw Brazil come out and play, where at least for me, going, this is one of the favourites of the World Cup, I was like, oh, this is what I came to watch. And I would have been a fan of Brazil had they played like this.
Dragging it out, but I do disagree because I feel Brazil have changed a little bit. Where apart from being this like the Samba boys and being this like wonderful football team, they have tried to be more measured in their approach. They've gone with an approach of we're not going to lose the game first.
Yeah.
We're not going to give anything away cheaply. And then we're just going to eventually our quality players will win the game for us.
Except that in this game they
well, it didn't work in this game, but it has worked for them, and they've been successful for the last couple of years doing it.
I'm just going to say that I don't think that's the way to win football matches, and I think that that's a Jose Mourinho sort of attitude, which wins leagues.
Atletico Madrid do it; they're pretty successful.
How many titles have they won? They've won one league title in the last 6 years, and they haven't won anything.
Yeah,
else.
they've won one league title, but who would have thought they'd even win one?
No, but that. Yeah, okay. So Brazil, openly thought it was one of the greatest nations on earth, is going to get lucky if it wins one world title every 50 years? That's not what you come to expect, and that's not the players they have. They have world-class players up and down the pitch. There's nowhere in the Brazil side that when you watch them play, you go, oh, this team should play conservatively. Marcelo's the best left back on earth. Their goalkeepers, they seem to be... Who's better?
Ashley Young.
I love you sometimes.
Yay.
But
Nigel Winterburn.
They have world-class players throughout this team, and this is not a team built to play conservatively. Thiago Silva is the best ball-playing centre-back on earth. It's an open acceptance of that fact. Why not use that? Why not play attacking football? They stopped playing attacking football, they've become a factory for European sides, and now they're a victim of their own success. I want more, Ian. I want goals and good play.
By the time the next World Cup rolls around, that's 20 years since they've won a World Cup.
Right?
That's a long time for Brazil.
So why would you play conservative?
I don't know. I can't
I'm
say
not
I
arguing with you
agree
about
with
that.
their way of doing it, but their way of doing it is obviously feel that that's something that's worked for them.
I don't. Okay, so there's a. We're gonna have to
We
edit this
can
shit
go
out.
on. I think we'll do another one with France.
So there's this whole thing in Brazil, right, where it is more profitable for the clubs to produce European talent and sell the talent to Europe. Now, the most profitable players have to be big. Europeans are bigger than the Brazilians naturally. Therefore, players like Kaká and stuff have changed the way they grow players. Players need to be bigger. Neymar is almost an aberration within this in that he's a talented small player, but they are producing bigger and stronger players. Paulinho, Thiago Silva, Fernandinho, all their players are big. Firmino. This is not a style that works for them, though, because as a nation, they are small. But they are trying to play a totally different style of football. They are not playing to their strengths. They're not playing to their best players. Neymar's best skill is the ball at his feet.
I didn't know
it's not a conservative
style. It sounds like they're small. I don't remember Brazil feeling like they're weak.
They're not weak, but they're small. They're not a tall nation. And yet their big players, the ones that make it into Europe and then they're picked for the team, are giants. Firmino is big. You can see it next to the Brazilians.
I remember seeing a picture of Ronaldo next to Andre the Giant, and I'm pretty sure he was the same size.
Totally the same size. Same muscle density as well.
We're getting way off topic.
I'm gonna
end this by saying, fantastic achievement by Belgium. You've done amazing, and I think you've got a really good chance of winning this World Cup now.
That's too bad you got to play England.
Everything that I thought that might go wrong for you, because you've always struggled against playing big sides.
No, they've done it.
This semi-final should be an amazing game.